what do you think has been the biggest lesson learned by the Russian military over the course of the last 3.5 years of this special military operation?
I think the greatest one, which is not talked about because everybody looks at the explosions, drones flying, Iskanders, those calibers and all that. It's operational planning and the coordination, which is perfected itself as we speak. Every day it's getting better and better. And so operational strategic planning, and now it is confirmed fully. Totally net-centric warfare. It's amazing how a Russian army completely went into this field and established it as the now working concept, which, I mean, technologically, it's technological marvel, essentially.
So explain what you mean by net-centric so that the average person listening, I don't think knows it intuitively.
Yeah, we start with simple things. Simple ones, recon strike and recon fire complexes. It's like simple with that. You have the drone, you have all kinds of sensors like penicillin. It can even hear things from huge distances and it gives you immediately bearing and distance and range, whatever you need. So somebody shoots at you, artillery. Your recon or a fire complex immediately detects it, using all kinds of things, anti-artillery, anti-gunnery radar, and things like that. You immediately develop information, and you get the targeting. Initially, Russians were getting this thing within 8 minutes. By that time, many crews of the NATO essentially troops and Ukrainians could escape. Within half a year, it went down to less than a minute. Mm-hmm. So that's Rook. Rather rock, what is called. So then suddenly you have many of those things, okay? And you integrate them into larger network. And then suddenly you integrate things into the network which come from your AVACs, early warning systems.
Right.
You integrate this gigantic integration of what is called signal fusion or data fusion. And then suddenly, when I'm a shooter, whatever I shoot, tank, whatever I shoot from the gun, or I launch Iskander missiles, I know not only what is narrow thing for me, but through the nodes of this thing, I can see what others are seeing. And that obviously affects in the most positive way, depending on how you use. There are all kinds of things to deal with these Kalman filters and things like that, which allow you enormous, to process enormous volume of the data, and you get extremely accurate targeting. You provide extreme situational tactical awareness across the whole battlefield, battle space, and to the such point that, and I spoke about it, that you can quote me on this, okay?
Yeah,
you can. It's speculation, but I know it's very much true. There are spaces in the General Staff building, in Ministry of Defense building in Russia today. Obviously, they are highly classified. But you literally have, remember the Star Wars and Battlestar? You have the whole places which give you 3D operational and tactical picture in holographic view. You literally see who sits here, so you designate them because this is the level of the tactical and operational awareness, which is allowed through the integration of circuits. It's famous Metcalfe's law. You know what? It's the number of the informational nodes, and the more the nodes you have, each communicating with each other, then suddenly you have the picture, which is United States has it in the Navy. It's called cooperative engagement capability. It's obviously is not very good when you have air defense, which doesn't work that well. But they literally see from different ships, from different aircraft, everything comes in one picture, and you have suddenly, yes. Mr. Friedman, wonderful man, actually, serious scholar of the U.S. Navy. He has PhD on, he taught, and he stated that if to put in the most simplest terms, what is the net-centric warfare? It is a picture warfare. You get picture. You literally have what you saw before, like, small, narrow thing. You suddenly have the whole thing, canvas, and where the enemy is, what is he doing, how is he doing, everything in the real time. And that is why this was achieved. I know that this was achieved. And as I already stated, there are rooms where they literally go in. Of course, we are talking about the enormous computational capabilities.
Yeah.
But then again, listen, take a look at the, which is not secret. It's been shown since 2015 when it was introduced, which is called National Defense Control Center. It's a gigantic auditorium. They have the rows of those officers, sitting in front, and you have these screens all over. Just go take a look at it. It's in YouTube, and they literally can do there. Already done. They can go and take a feed from commander of the Navy, and they literally can take the feed, video feed, and signal from some bomber, or even the squad leader with his thing here. They can put this feed into if need be, and this is what it has become.
Yeah.
It's just 21st century is here, and that's the whole thing. Russians perfected it. That is why, no matter even the United States, which it does, it has full operational picture, because obviously Russians cannot shoot down American satellites, because it's, casus belli in World War III. But even when they give it to, Ukrainians, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because Russians have a much better and, operational picture, and they can react properly. And we go into this OODA loop, and that's a whole other can of worms.
Well, my information's dated, but what I saw 6-7 years ago, and remember, I was working with the special operations forces, who were, they were the elite. They got the stuff that the regular Army and Navy didn't get.
Course, yeah.
And so, what happened was the morning meetings. The generals would, like the commander of JSOC would start off a secure video teleconference at, say, like 8 a.m. And you've got all the stations from around the world popping in. So it's at different times and different places. And they would be doing their briefs, and then, there'd be PowerPoint. But that thing would go on for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then they'd go off and, do their things for the workday in the United States, and then reassemble at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon to do the same thing. And it was really pretty, if you will, clunky and cumbersome. And it was not net-centric. I can, you didn't have the teams that were out at a particular location able to say, this is what we're seeing immediately. And it still used to have a variety of hoops to jump through. Yeah. So, and I don't think the U.S. is caught up to that.
No, it comes with this practice, and especially when you look attentively at the fire means. And I'm not talking about strike means, which are obviously means like Iskanders, calibers, all kinds of the long-range fires. I'm talking about fire means, that is artillery, there are all kinds of the MLRS, things of this nature, which are tactically require immediate reaction. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, when you have the whole battlefield in sensors, and many of them are secure, again, many people don't know. T-90M Prorif tank can give information and targeting and receive otherwise to the AVAX, to the plane flight. They have data links, and they are able to process it. That's what many people also, the bunch of the fanboys, don't understand. Oh, T-14 Armata is the failure. No, it is produced now serially. Yeah, it wasn't used primarily there. It's a node, one of the nodes. Armata can communicate with air defense complexes even, So it's just, it's one radar somewhere. Imagine this: your radar, for example, not as effective for anything, but if it has the signal of the cruise missile, flying in. It has data link, which automatically already spreads this, including to the point of the air defense complexes, which already have approximate track, because they have the some data points, and that is processed. And then suddenly, again, it has to be understood there. And Mr. Putin himself stated it. And I was writing about it for many years. The combat effectiveness of Russian air defense system today is in excess of 95%, something around 97. This is insane. It's like practically any strike is mitigated. This is what you do. And it's built in the echelons, all kinds of things, from Thors to Panzers to goes to Books and Ones and all those robots, essentially S-350s, and down up to S-400s, and then eventually to all kinds of things. And that has been perfected. It works. Not only it works under the conditions of the constant electronic interference, under conditions of being exposed by United States satellite, grouping. Yeah. Because United States has the full electromagnetic picture of the Russian operations. They know when, what air defense complex on, which one goes down. That's how Ukrainians can find those gaps once in a while, And so, yeah, and it works. It's